let's delve straight into the conversations. And we'll start with the road traffic regulation, the withdrawal of the road traffic regulation that has happened. Now, there's a number of papers that are actually covering the story, so let me just pull it from one of them. I see it on the front page of the Republic Press. I also see it on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Let me just read it from the Ghanaian Times. We have here page 4 of the Ghanaian Times. It says here, local government minister withdraws controversial road traffic LI. The Minister of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, Martin Ejamensa Kosa, has withdrawn the controversial road traffic regulations 2012, that is LI 2180. Now, the withdrawal follows public outcry against the instrument which seeks to amend portions of the road traffic regulations 2012. Now, late on the 14th of June and set to mature on Friday, the 19th of July, 2024, the LI, among other things, was meant to bring the regulations up to speed on matters relating to the registration and licensing of motor vehicles. However, it came to light over the weekend that the LI, excuse me, LI includes provisions granting some public officials, including ministers of state, members of parliament, and justices of the Superior Courts of Adjudicature, the privilege to use sirens on the road and not be liable for exceeding speed limits. All right. Now, the revelation stirred the public anger on social media, with people accusing the political class of finding an easy way to run away from the road traffic challenges that confront the masses. I will stop here, and let me start with you, Tabitha, on this one. Your thoughts on where we find ourselves, good move, and what should be the posturing of, you know, because I'm sure the LI, as it's been withdrawn, certain parts will be expunged, and then we'll attempt to put it back again and all that. So let me hear your thoughts.
Yes. Good morning to you once again, and to all viewers. I think this controversial LI has been one that has exposed the opposition NDC in such a way that all Ghanaians now see them for who they truly are. I think the genesis of the whole thing was that somewhere in 15th of March, this LI was laid before Parliament, and then subsequently, they asked that it should be withdrawn and some amendments done. Now, let's make it very, very clear here.
Who asked for it to be drawn? Just to clarify, who asked for it to be drawn and amendments done?
I can't tell, but I want to believe it is the committee head,
okay,
which is being headed by Honorable Dr. Dominic Kayene,
okay,
the MP for Bolga East.
Okay.
And so the first, this was what was initially laid in March of this year. Mm-hmm. And it includes, 1, government vehicle used for official purposes by the head of state, a police service vehicle, a motor vehicle used by the Ghana National Fire Service, National Ambulance Service, hospitals and clinic ambulances, and then other recognized government security agencies, and a bullion vehicle registered by the licensing authority. Okay. This was what was initially laid before Parliament. Then we have, somewhere around 3 weeks ago, we have the head of the committee, as I mentioned earlier, in the person of Dominic Kayene. He now said, let's resent on it. Let's take it back and make some amendments to it. Okay. There's a video coverage, so it's not like somebody's lying. That's why I said this has come to expose the NDC big time. Now, when they took it back, the amendments, they insisted on it. And you know, surprisingly, Ablakwa was there when this was said that it should be amended. But Ablakwa went to his Facebook page and publicly announced that they were not part of it, denied knowledge of it, and behaved as though they did not know what was going on, and laid all the blame on the sitting government. Meanwhile, this thing was done with all of you being in full knowledge. So this is where...
How do you know they were all in full knowledge?
They were all in full knowledge because of the video evidence.
Is he a member of the committee?
Is he a member of the committee?
Yes.
So if he's not, I don't know whether he is a member or not.
So on what basis are you saying that?
I'm saying this because if you don't have full knowledge or details of something, don't be the first to go out there blowing hot air. Let's make that clear. Because what he did was that he totally misled people, putting all the blame on the majority. He totally misled. And even we have the Speaker of Parliament in the person of Alban Bagbin, who is part of the minority anyway, who is part of the NDC, publicly declaring that he had no knowledge.
Yeah, but what he said was categorical. He had no knowledge that there was anything like that in Parliament. There's nothing like that in Parliament. But he was the one who laid it on the 14th of June.
Yes. So why will you do that?
Why would who do that?
Why will the Speaker of Parliament behave as though he's not aware of this ally?
Yes.
And that he's not aware that some recommendations were made or that the committee head requested that some amendments be made. If you are the head and they need your support to pass this bill, what do? You do due diligence. You need to pay attention to the details. You don't come out and publicly disgrace yourself as though you are not in charge of the House. You are in charge of the House, and he even claimed that he made calls to people.
Yes, he said so.
And they all denied knowledge.
Yes, of it.
Why should we keep doing this? Putting all the blame on the majority. Meanwhile, it is on record that Anno Dompre, who happens to be the majority chief whip, made it clear on the floor of Parliament that there is no need to lay this. But Dominic Ayino was emphatic and was solid on the fact that, no, we need to do it now. And the Speaker of Parliament himself also added his voice that, yes, this cannot be put aside. Bring it, do the necessary amendments, and let's get this passed. Truth is, when you are doing some of these things, know that it is always on record. You all came together and did this thing. The public is saying we don't like it. The honorable thing to do is to say, yes, the public doesn't like this. Let's take it out. But where you come out and publicly deny knowledge, that is where I have a problem.
Okay.
And if you look at
let me give you some context. Let me read this for you. Okay. So the Minister for Local Government, and this is from ChannelOneNews.com, the Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Martin A.J. Mensah-Konsa, has officially withdrawn the controversial legislative instrument on behalf of the Minister for Transport. Okay. So the presupposition based on this article here is that the Minister for Transport is the one who brought it to Parliament. Okay, so it's a government ally.
Yes.
Okay, was seeking amendments. Okay.
Now,
no, just briefly. Then it says here the proposed amendment to the regulation sparked significant backlash and opposition from various quarters, including the minority caucus in Parliament. So if you're saying that the minority are responsible for putting this in the document, how do you reconcile that with the fact that they were raising alarm bells and they were in opposition of it?
Now, let's go back again. If you look at this letter, I don't know if you have this letter, that was the Office of the Attorney General and the Ministry of Justice, Road Traffic Amendment Regulation 2024. Now, if you look at this letter, it was dated I think on the 15th of March, it is on the 15th of March 2024.
Okay, what does it say?
Now, it says that further to the meeting of Parliament Select Committee on Subsidiary Legislation held at the committee room, they wrote some, yeah, so let's just go down there, the second paragraph. The regulations have been revised in accordance with the amendments agreed to by the committee. The amendments are indicated in bold print for ease of reference. Kindly confirm to us in writing if the revised regulations are satisfactory to enable us take further action. Okay. That's why I'm saying that the earlier one, the one that was laid, was without the ministers and the MPs. And this is what it is. If you want, you can have a look. This is the earlier one. This is the earlier one, which included the vehicle of the head of state, the police service vehicle, National Fire Service vehicle, ambulance service vehicle, and some recognized government security agencies and bullion vehicles that are registered by the licensing authority. This was what was earlier on laid before Parliament. Before the controversial addition that came.
Which part of the article are you reading?
I'm reading.
Is it 39?
Yes, no, regulation 74
of LI,
2180.
Yes, that's
amended.
Yes.
And then
that's section 39.
That's 39. Okay. Then you go to 54. This is where the new additions come in. And this is where the minority member of parliament, in the person of Dominic Ayene, who happens to be the chair of the committee. So if you look at the 54, you realize that the ones that are in bold, the bolded ones, are the ones that they added or amended to what was earlier on laid before Parliament. Let's not forget, Arno Dompre made it clear that it is not necessary for them to lay this. But then you see Dominic Ayene come up again, insist upon it that it should be laid. And we have the Speaker of Parliament also adding his voice to it, saying that yes, it should be laid. And this is in public knowledge. The videos are there for people to refer to. Now, my problem here is where some of them decide to go out into the public and lie to the public that we were not in agreement to this amendment. Meanwhile, you are on record, video record.
Wait, when you say video record, so who and who? You are talking about a couple of people, but you are bunching everybody into it.
No, the reason why I'm saying this is that, you see, if you are part of a committee or if you are part of Parliament and you don't have full information, don't go out there misleading the masses. That is my point here.
Okay, all right.
And so you don't need to be part of a committee before you can make some pronouncements.
Okay.
The only thing you need to know is that have full details and come out with the truth.
Okay.
So from the beginning, the majority, which is the MPP, which is majority in Parliament, said this amendment was not necessary.
Okay.
But it was due to the insistence of the minority led by their chief, what do they call him, the person in charge of the committee head, who is Dominic Ayene. And when he was saying this, Ablakwa was sitting right beside him. And we have the Speaker of Parliament come out to endorse all that he said and said, look, let's go ahead and pass this bill. So if the public is not in agreement and they have taken it, I think it's a good thing.
But the disagreement, okay, we'll come back to you, but I'm done too. Yes. The disagreement is on just 2 or 3 of the issues. So people are taking issue with ministers of state, with justices of the Supreme Court, and with members of Parliament. I haven't seen any disagreement on any of the other issues as it stands. Subsequently, I mean, of course, we know that the head of state, the vice president, as well as the Speaker of Parliament and the Chief Justice already have access to this already. There's nothing new there. All emergency vehicles already have this as well. There's nothing new there. So this is the new insertion into the LI. What's your take on this?
Okay, so let me say good morning to you and your household here and my co-panelists and those watching us out there. And to come to this important issue, I listened to my sister here, and the vapor that came out directed towards the minority, calling them hypocrites, calling them all sorts of names, and trying to claim that they have been exposed. In an attempt to do that, she has been exposed herself. Number one, an ally is sent to Parliament by a funding ministry.
Yes.
A funding ministry, right? And when we talk about a funding ministry, it is about the government of the day, the party of the day. NDC doesn't come in here, the minority doesn't come in here, right? So if an ally is sent to Parliament, and today the blame has to come to the NDC, the blame has to come to the minority, the blame has to go to the Speaker of Parliament, and today we have to sit here and take Tabitha's words, not the words of the Speaker of Parliament and not the words of Honorable Ablakwa. We have to believe her. She is telling the truth. She is the honest person. It is an expose. Like you've rightly mentioned, there have been an existing protection, if you like, for a certain category of people. There is a group of people or a category of people who have now been introduced to this system. Now, I know already of an arrangement that is existing to provide, let's say, protection or that particular service to MPs, to ministers, because we've seen ministers go and you see a siren before them. It is an existing arrangement with the Ghana Police Service that in the case that you need such an opportunity or such service, you get in touch with the Ghana Police Service and they provide
an outrider.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so the need for an ally to be laid, I don't know if that has been illegal, but the need for an ally to be laid, it's a non-starter. The need for something to be developed for a category of people to be added to this a group of people who already have that privilege, it's a non-starter. Now, to cry out loud, how do you claim that the Speaker was aware of the ally? He sat there and said that the ally should be laid, and the Speaker comes out to tell you that he's not aware. How do you sit here and claim that Honorable Ablakwa is aware of the ally, but he came out to debunk the idea that he was aware of it? And we should take your words for it. Uncle Dave, there are people who believe that there's a gap between the governing class and the people who have positioned them there. And this phenomenon or this idea is the one that creates a brewing tension between the governing class and the masses. We have seen it happen elsewhere, and we do not want it to happen in Ghana here. The minority have established a point, and their point is that since there has been an already arrangement between the Ghana Police Service, then there's no need for this. We do not want the already tensions that exist as a result of hardship, as a result of hunger, because people are hungry. Yeah. People are going through stress. People are going through hardship, unbearable hardship. It's already creating tension. And we do not want extra tension to come in and mud the situation for us. Let us keep to the status. Let us maintain the status, and then we'll move on. Now, Uncle Dave, this is not the first ally that has been laid in Parliament, that the masses have kicked against, that the minority have kicked against. There's an ally on the regulation of cement prices that the masses have kicked against. The minority have kicked against it. The people who are in the sector have kicked against it. Why haven't we withdrawn that one? How different is that one to this particular ally? And so for somebody to sit here and claim that the minority was aware of it, And they came out to be hypocritical about it, trying to swell the speaker, trying to swell Honorable Blackwell, trying to swell everybody in the situation. It's a non-starter. Now, Uncle Dave, today we are bedeviled with an unbearable hardship, food which is an essential whatever to our lives. It's a challenge for us. Today, Ghana is importing as little as lettuce, as little as carrot, as little as maize, which are essential. And we were thinking that the government would direct this energy towards addressing these situations. But no, they are directing their energies to trivialities. This is a triviality, and we are saying that it won't happen. Thankfully, it has been withdrawn, and we don't hope that it comes back. I want to applaud the minority for being awake. The minority is wide awake, and so far, so good. A lot have been saved for the Ghanaian people. A lot has been saved for Ghanaian people. And so for me, it's a non-starter. Where Tabitha came from, it's a non-starter. If the Ministry of Transport came with this airline, the transport system is crawling now. People are complaining about everything that is going on there. Why don't you come out with regulations that will protect the transport system, that will protect the monetary affairs in the transport system? Let's vis-a-vis lorry fares, vis-a-vis transport charges, and all of those things. Why don't you come out with airlines that will make that system easy for us, that will ease the burden in that sector? What is wrong? What is happening? That trivialities are those which are in your mind. Now, today you are claiming that people could be, or an MP, let's say an MP could be in the constituency and he will need to come back urgently to Accra, which is the central point, and then he will need that service. Today, the Parliament House is empty. Where are your MPs? They are not there. They are urgently needed to address situations that are waiting for them in Parliament. They are not there. And so for you to claim that somebody will need to be present to address a situation, there is that dire need for the person's presence in the Parliament House and so, or in a ministry, and so there was the need for this particular legal instrument to be passed to give them protection. It's not the beginning. Now, Uncle Dave, I know that in our system, there's something that is called an abuse.
Yeah.
Yes. We have people, cars moving around. You have the MP sticker on it, but it's not the MP who is in the vehicle.
I've seen that a few times.
A lot of times. It's the MP's son, it's the MP's nephew, it's the MP's wife. And so, as Ghanaians as we are, when this LI is passed, we will abuse this system. And if I know, for instance, I've driven a car which belongs to my husband, which belongs to my uncle, which belongs to my father, with that protection, I get to a point and I come down and it's not the MP. The populace around there, the people around there, what will be their mindset? And so like I started from the beginning, trying to let you understand that the gap that exists between the governing class and the people that are being governed is the reason why there's that brewing tension. And we've seen it in the past, from the past 3 years. Look at what has happened in the neighboring countries. It is always because there is that gap that the governing class is giving certain unnecessary privileges that put them above those who put them there, who voted for them, who entrusted them with the responsibility to manage the affairs of the societies or the countries. And so assuming that a car is driven to some place and it's the wife of an MP, it's the son of an MP, it's the friend of an MP, which has the MP tag on the vehicle, and you've been given this privilege. What do you think will be in the minds of the people? Then we come back, when they complain, we come back and begin to arrest people for complaining and expressing genuine concerns and expressing their worries and expressing the need to take back power since you are abusing the power. And so it's, for me, thankfully, it's been withdrawn. I don't pray it comes back. I hope that already...
But the generality of the LI is actually very positive in terms of the amendments. It's this insertion of the three categories, ministers of state, justices of the Supreme Court, and members of parliament, is the one that seems to be causing the issue. Because, so I'm sure that, I mean, it will come back to be laid again.
Of course, but this bag will not come back with it. It comes back without that bag, because that is the concern. And already the arrangement that exists that protects people, I mean, ministers of state, we've seen them. Yeah. You see a minister going with a V8, just that one car, and you see a policeman before him with a siren, just trying to pave a way for him. And so, for me, it comes up with this, without this baggage, it's a good thing. Right. But with this baggage, like the MPP who believes in unnecessary things, they come with things that are necessary, they are not concentrating on them. Right, okay. It's the things that are not necessary that they are concentrating on. I am very positive that the minority will make sure that for the rest of the 5 months that is left, things will be on the right path. And we will not allow anybody to mad any official with the abuse of words, because you have been exposed yourself with some hypocrisy.
Thank you. Tabitha, you wanted to make a...
Yes. When my sister was making her submission, she made some few errors that I exposed myself. I never exposed myself. I only explained the position of what the truth is. The truth is that both the majority and minority agreed to lay this before Parliament. Only for some group of people to come out at the end of the day after public outcry to deny knowledge of what the additions were, and rather decided to lay all the blame on the majority side. Now, I understand this is an electioneering year, and so people will like to adopt one or two ways of tricking the public. But as I indicated, the videos are there for people to confirm that nobody should ever deny knowledge of what went on the floor of Parliament. Nobody. So you putting the blame at the doorsteps of only the majority is unfortunate. Another thing is that she made mention that another ally is in Parliament and the public is against it, and that the government should do well to take that one too out. The honest truth is that it was rather due to public outcry that led to the laying of this ally, which has to do with the prices of cement. And that one, you can't say majority of Ghanaians are against that one. Majority of Ghanaians are not against it. I remember 2 or 3 weeks back, almost all media stations were interviewing people who were crying. Crying because prices of cement is unbearable. So how can you sit here and say that particular ally, the public is against it? My sister, you may just have to go back and revise what happened 3 weeks ago and be well informed and know that this particular ally, which has to do with the regulation of cement prices, is not something that the public is against.
All right.